Welcome. Been a long time, and I decided that I was gonna make this new episode something really bit more fun and a little bit more interesting. I didn't realize that I'd be making another video anytime soon. But anyways, point being is that I wanted to make this episode a little bit more questiony, answery because I came across Dave and Shan's objective personality kind of question video. So I thought I saw it and I was like, oh my goodness, I would love to answer this. And hypothetically, metaphorically, I had $119 to pay for a video typing, but because I don't, but I love the question anyway. I love it. It's such a great prompt, and so I want to be able to have that moment with you guys. And so let me remove the welcome sign and let me bring up the questions. Here we are. So video questions. I love how it says, do not send videos longer than 60 minutes. Who knows? I mean, I'm an any dom. It's just gonna be crazy, but I don't want it to flavor anybody's kind of whatever on me. If you are, don't go into this thinking that I am. Oh gosh, I can't believe I said I gave it away. But anyways, I'm gonna try and attempt this. Remove everything you know about me, and then I'll talk about this, and we will see if this is me, if this is not me, and then we will see how this goes. So it says, are you answering these questions? As you are answering these questions below, random tangents will come to mind. Love me some random tangents. We are looking mostly for those tangents, so feel free to ramble on some questions and completely skip others. Our goal here is just to get to know the real you. All right, let's get started. What is your average day/week like? And I love how they also mention like wake up time, school, work, friends, family drama. Man, they really want you to babble about this. So basically, I like to keep a nice schedule. I really like to keep up. I mean, this is something I learned recently, and trying to master. I'm not a master at it. I'm not really good at keeping it awesome because I do suck when it comes to like running after another idea. I wouldn't be able to do it properly. But lately, I have been doing a lot pretty good, except for a couple of days ago. But basically, I've been getting 7 to 8 hours a night. That's my standard. Except for weekends. Weekends, I kind of leave it up in the air because friends want to hang out. We want to get wild. Want to get rowdy. So of course, let's bring on that, right? Let's have some fun. So I gave myself that time to kind of play and have some fun. But during the weekday, that is the perfect moment to, I don't know, like relax and be a little less strict on myself, if that makes sense. When it comes to the typical average day, I have a very routinized schedule for work. It's very Monday to Thursday. It's heading to work for about short hours, and then Friday I have a full day. But in the morning, it's wake up, make breakfast, take a shower, get dressed, but also try to fit in as much as I can when it comes to creating content. If ever, like if I have an interview with somebody, if I have to schedule myself in anything, seeking out an idea online to see if I'm gonna be into it, if I'm not into it. It's a lot of that going on. I don't really have much to say in terms of detail. As much as I'd like to, it isn't something that comes to mind right away. I mean, I know this, if you've seen other videos of mine, I usually ramble way off, and sometimes I don't even go through like one single question properly. That's probably what's going on right now. So here we are. I love how the goal is here is to get to know the real you. Lord have mercy. Let's hope we can find the real me. So I don't go to school, not anymore, which thank goodness. Not that I didn't like school. I loved taking notes. I loved, studying. However, I hated kind of the whole aspect. I guess the whole aspect of it annoyed me because I could be doing something else. Like I had this whole concept where in my mind where I can't wait to leave so I can be an adult and I can get out and do things, because I just don't like being able to be stuck in a room for 8 hours, maybe even 6 to 8 hours, I think, of just schoolwork and then homework, and then you still things I'm never going to even use in real life. I think that's the part that annoyed me the most, that I would not be able to use. I want to be able to use information that I've gathered. I can't sit enough to process unless the immediate response of if I can hold it in my hand is present. If it isn't, then why are we here? Why are we here? Um, family drama. I don't have family drama nowadays. It's been relatively peaceful. Back when I was younger, it was definitely something that became an issue because uh my parents were more introverted in nature. I'm the loudest person in the house, as you can tell. I'm also the most talkative. I'm the most expressive, and expressive in a way that if I just don't like being told what to do, if that makes sense. My mom always has this argument with me where I'm just difficult, where she had to guilt me to do things, which I hated. That is a big issue for me. I don't like being guilted to do anything, because if you're gonna guilt me into something, it means that you weren't trying hard enough, or like you weren't giving the right enough reasons for me to even, I don't know, do it. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's basically where I'm going for with that. It doesn't, to me, it annoys me that that's the case, but and I would like double down and be like, well, that's just not, this doesn't work. uh Interest, I can't say I have such strong interests in a way that I can be like consistent and say, oh, I like doing this, I like doing that. I've dabbled in so many things, because for me it's the idea first, and then it's whatever it is I want to do with the idea. So what ends up happening is I taught myself how to paint because I wanted to create this image in my brain. I taught myself how to draw, to sketch, to sculpt because I wanted to create this image in my brain. I taught myself how to write because I needed to know. Well, I mean, I keep saying write as if everybody knows how to write, but write a book, for example, or to write poetry or something. I shadowed this poet for a while because I wanted to be able to produce wanted to write up my emotions in a way that makes sense. I Everything I do is because I want to be able to get something done. Like, it was more so an idea needs to manifest in reality, therefore I cannot just sit here and make it not happen like that. And I think that's the part that really upsets me. No, so I keep using the word wrong. It's not upset, it's frustration. That's kind of it's just what causes me to have frustration. Like, basically my interests vary. I've dabbled in dancing, singing, like I've done stuff like that. Public speaking, I've done stuff like that. It's I used to be worried about talking in front of people until you realize that it's really no big deal, and people are all doing the same thing anyway. Like, they're either just listening to what you're saying, or they notice a little piece of hair sticking out of your hat, and it's a reality. It's life. I don't really see why we have to put too much of a big deal on it, but that's just me. That's from how I understand it. Tell us about the most stressful time in your life. That is hard as a type 7. I know this isn't for an Enneagram typing, but just to put that out there, life and hardships are kind of something that doesn't really compute, because in a way with me, I'd rather it doesn't exist. However, at the same time, I'm working on that. Like, it's not something I can proudly say that I've done my work and I've made it happen. It's not that easy. I don't think it's not something that I can say that I'm super comfortable with. It's not something that I can really embrace necessarily, because a lot of what I do and a lot of things that causes me stress, I kind of sometimes I feel charged by it, so I always want to fix it. But the biggest, most stressful moment in my life was something that actually ended up where I couldn't really do that, so I had to hermit mode for 6 months, and it was just a mess, and I was just like, I didn't understand, and I was just really upset about everything, and I had to face my feelings for the first time, and I was like, what the heck am I doing? Like, what is this life? I don't want to get into it too much. I do talk about it. If you know me from previous or being guests on other people's YouTube channels, you'll know what it is. But this is one of that question where I'm like, I don't really want to deal with it. Tell us about one of the most, like, I don't know, nowadays it's this most stressful thing now is like, will I be able to upload on time, or if I got to finish whatever it is I'm writing at the time, or am I able to reply to this person on time, or that's kind of my gig now. Do I have enough money in the paycheck? Like, it's just that's the moment I can say now for that. What are some problems you see in the world? Not enough curiosity. There's not enough. I know we like to preach about open-mindedness, but I still believe that there's a lot of folks out there who aren't. And I know there's these weird sayings where they say things like, oh, you hit a point where you become consistent in your thinking and you hit like an age of 30 and you just don't even want to learn anymore. I'm like, stop telling yourself that you don't want to learn anything, because that just, I don't know, it's just ignorant to me. Like, learn, consume. Why can you not take another perspective? I don't understand. If somebody's telling you you're acting a certain way and you don't take it in, why? Because you think you're so that in a bag of chips? Like, get over yourself. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, I'm sorry that you are so up in your head that you can't really do anything about it, but literally get up, look at yourself in the mirror, and then look at somebody else and say, hey, I'm real. You know, like, this is your body, this is what you do with it. Too bad, so sad. I don't know, like, I'm thinking about it now. It's like, problems in the world is people aren't being honest enough, let's say, I guess, is another one. Like, I just don't see enough of that. I've been told to be less honest. Imagine that. I don't know, wrap that around your head. I've been told to be less honest. So that's, I can't even say how that's gonna, like, I guess another one is not enough practicality, for lack of a better term. Not a lot of people realize that there's a consequence to a lot of things that they do. Not everybody thinks that there's an implication, there is an impact, there's a something. If you have a decision you want to make, even making no decision results in something. So I don't know how people will take that. I certainly had to learn that lesson growing up. This isn't something I always believed in. I always believed that, oh, well, as long as I didn't make a decision, everything's fine. But sometimes when you don't really make a move, it's a move on somebody else's part to fill that in for you. So you're basically offloading it to somebody else that should have been your responsibility. So I guess you kind of roll with that, with how you will with that truth. I just learned that if that was going to be the case, I'd rather just make the decision myself, because I do not want to put that burden on somebody else. And also, I don't think anybody else is worth giving that to. It, like, I don't know, find the ego that it's better that you do it. It's just how I see it. Tell us one of the best times in your life. A good night's sleep. A good night's sleep, yes, that's the best thing in my life. No, that's a good night's sleep, but also, like, I was at a time where I still remember this. This is one of my biggest moments. I have, like, a lot of big moments like this, but, like, me and a group of friends, we all just got massaged by one of their family members who's a licensed masseuse. And the minute she, like, worked on all of us, we just started laughing. And I guess we were just in bliss, in total body shock, that our body just felt contorted in all the right places. And, you know, we just felt like a whole new self, and we just couldn't stop laughing. It was for about an hour, and we worried the masseuse, because she was like, did I just kill you all? And we're like, nope, we're doing just fine. But it was insane. Like, every time I look back and I think about it and I replay this in my head, I enjoy that moment so much, and I love being able to have a huge laugh with people around me. Like, if we could piss ourselves laughing, then I know we're having a good time, and I know that it's a moment that I could finally feel a part of, which is very hard for me to be in. But that really snaps me in, and I really enjoy that. Another big time is people telling me stories about themselves. I eat that up. That's the best thing. Tell me about you. I would rather hear about you than you hear about me. I mean, I'm comfortable talking about me. That's 100% true. However, if you share yourself to me, I will treat it with the utmost respect and honor and just dignity. And I love it. Like, I love to be able, I don't know, it just feels amazing to have somebody just open up to you and tell you, hey, let me tell you about me. And I'm like, really? Like, your history, your life, to get a glimpse of your world? As if I have all the time in the world for that. The biggest challenge in your life right now. The point here is to get you to talking about what you really care about. I care a lot about productivity. No, I care a lot about just being, I guess, just being able to just keep consuming. I don't know how that translates to anything, but I don't ever want to stop. You know, like, I don't ever want to. The biggest problem that I have is to actually sit still and process. I don't know how to do that properly. I actually have to go to somebody else. I have a thing where I go to introverts and I'd be like, hey, can I use you as a soundboard, because I have something in my head, I need to process my feelings, and I can't sit alone in front of a mirror and do that. I have to be able to process that via a person or to you or something. If I could be a stereotypical extrovert, by all means make it happen. That might be me. Like, I could deal being alone, because another big part of it's ironic in a way, because another big part of what I do is could do spend some time alone, and in that time I'm still not really processing myself. Like I'm still either watching TV, or I'm watching, you know, a video online, or, you know, I'm dancing to some kind of random music that I put on just for whatever, and it's just that's all it is that's going on for me. I don't really have, you know, a moment. The last time, I like to say this a lot, the last time I had a really intense conversation was, you know, and I was felt like I was going to lose my marbles. I had such an angry philosophical conversation with a frozen waffle. Yes, a frozen waffle. And yeah, it's a thing, and I went for it, and it was like 20 minutes long, and I had to unpack so much of my problems, and I thought to myself, this is why I would need friends. Like nowadays, when you have friends, you just, you know, you call them up and say, hey, I've been feeling a little down, can we talk, I need to get this out of my chest. And, you know, I mean, then you have to pay the price of like, I have to listen, and then like it's a give and take, you know, it's a give and take. Biggest challenge I would say is maintaining a good balance and consistency, because even if I'm really good at getting things started in a way that I could make projects happen, like I love getting into that, getting into all this good things, I do not have a I don't really have like I'm seeking balance. Like I love to be able to find that sweet spot, and I don't think I have that yet. And I think that's the biggest problem with me. The biggest challenge is every time I like to take in more information, I don't have a space. Like I have space, it's just that I don't know how it's organized, so I can't really sit there and like mentally categorize everything. It's never that. It's always run, pick up information, see if I can use it, play with something else, see if I can use that, play it with something else, and then like in the moment make it happen, use it whatever you can, and they'll just come out of me. But if you ask me to be like, hey, let's sit down, let's write your thoughts out, I'm like, can we talk it over first? Can I, you know, back and forth you? Can I argue with you for like, is that a thing? I want to be able to get to that. What would your ideal life look like 10 years from now? 10 years from now, okay, just to put it out there, I am 25 years of age. Okay, so that would be 35. I hope I am living on my own. Right now I'm living with parents because it's, you know, they're getting older and I'm taking care of them. But at the same time, if I'd be able to, you know, save up my money and make it happen, I would definitely move out, and I would definitely support them from a different location as I do my own projects, do my own thing. But, you know, that's basically just reality for me. Another thing in 10 years, I can't say I look that far into future. It's hard. When the farther I look into the future, the blurrier it gets. And the blurrier it gets because, in a way, all I see are possibilities, if that makes sense. All I see are, well, what I could do this, I could be that. So it's very hard for me to kind of make it happen. The most I could say is the stability that I can assume because it's consistent and it's safe. Like for example, with the whole moving out thing, like I know it's gonna happen because in a way I'm actually physically working towards that goal. However, when it comes to personal pet projects, passion projects, that goal seems to either wax and wane. It doesn't really stay consistent. That's why I envy a lot of other people out there who have visions and they can go like, I can stick to it. And I'm going, I don't know if I can be that consistent. My mind doesn't go, like I don't converge onto anything. It's always like burst. Eat. Like it's just always a lot of consuming. So I'm never really having, I don't know, like somebody sends me a book and I'm going, oh, well, yes, I'll start reading. Like I once had this thing where I thought it would be really funny. I would always be told like study before, you know, you're gonna give like your answers or whatever, but on the spot I could make up an answer and I could make it sound personable, I can make it sound real, genuine, whatever. So in a way it's fascinating for somebody, for people, whatever it is that is, you know, and that's why I think that it is kind of useful in that way because I don't know, like in a way that's kind of how I've operated. Of course I keep telling myself this, I should have better study habits, but every time I study it's always like, well, when can I use it, you know, when can I take this, when can I make it happen? Because I don't know, why would I want to sit still? It's just never really my gig. I mean, this is also ironic because I'm also sitting right now, so hey, that's gonna how it be. But yeah, like let's I don't know. tell us about maybe I missed something. Like, tell us about your most stressful times. I don't know. Like, I don't have preferences. Like, it's hard. I don't know why I brought that up, but it just came to me. Like, I had an idea, and I'm like, yeah, well, I just that's a big problem. And back in school, the biggest one of my challenges was multiple choice tests, because as I could always see all of them were right in a way. Like, I could see possibilities that one could be one or the other, and it sucked because I couldn't really stick to a decision right away. Uh, but at the same time, I couldn't really sit and feel it either. I was so frustrated in high school because I suddenly had these feelings and I didn't know what to do with them, and I got annoyed because I didn't know what to do with them, and I only wanted to be able to use them. Going like, okay, so what does this do? What do I do? Can I say something? Can I just skip to the part where we just yell at each other? Like, is that a thing? Um, Confrontation at the time, it was hard because I wasn't always this expressive before as I am now. Because back then I was always being told, like, you can't say certain things, you can't do certain things, you can't be certain things, and I just got frustrated because I'm like, okay, well, what can I do? And if I can't do that, why are we here? Why am I just gonna sheep it out? Like, is that how it is? Can I, like, but what if I don't agree with it? Can I not argue it? Like, is that not acceptable? And and they're like, your feelings don't matter necessarily. And I was like, okay, but does, like, so my opinions or my feelings don't matter, okay, but what about the actual facts? Like, you can't argue that. So why is that also feel like oppressive or something like that? So in a way, I got so upset and so frustrated, and I pushed back because I was like, well, if I'm right and I'm backed by all of this right logic, why am I gonna feel, I don't know, like, what's the word here? Like, why am I gonna feel intimidated by that? Like, if all this list, let's say I had a list of all these things that I could do and I could bring it happen, suddenly that's gonna be wrong, even though they're all tried and true and they're all something that I've done and they're all projects I'm personally working on, and you don't get to tell me that that's not gonna work out. Just saying, it's just kind of, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. That just seems a little hilarious to me, but that's. I've disrupted a room before, and I think I got a little bit embarrassed after, only because I think it did cause a lot of uncomfortability. It wasn't my intention. I just wanted to correct something, but nowadays I'm just really quick on disclaimers. Like, I'm sorry, I'm probably gonna attack you verbally. That's kind of how I go nowadays. I'd be like, well, let me get to this. So I'm looking at it now. Again, talking for another 20 minutes. Again, apologize. As a disclaimer, you probably stood here looking at this guy babbling for too fast. Do with it what you will, however it is, whatever. But anyways, if this helps in any way, for those, I like these questions. I like the prompts because I got talking again. And in a way, I needed to react to something because I couldn't just go like, hey, let's go, bloop, because that's just going to go, bloop. So, again, I guess thank you guys for watching. Who knows what goes on. I welcome any of the questions or whatever. Like, let it out, let it happen, let me know. I am so fascinated to see how that goes, to see how we go, blah, blah, blah. How do I have so much energy? I feel really sick today too, and I don't know how I'm getting this much energy, but here we are. So again, thanks again for watching. I mean, I got stuff. If you want to check it out, go ahead. If you don't, that's up to you. And have a good day. Bye.